Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is hautemesstom. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you are new here, hi, welcome to Messmas. I'm doing a December long project where I'm trying to touch every piece of makeup and put it on my face that I currently own. I'm really trying to spend time loving my collection as it is and being critical of my own collection, but also new makeup releases. I'm on a 6-month no-buy, so that is how this project came to be. My whole plan is to hopefully minimize my collection a little bit more. I'm not trying to be a minimalist here, but that's what we're doing. So if that sounds good to you, I would love to have you subscribe. And I also have a Patreon in case you're interested in something like that to see more content from me. We're on day 13 of Messmas. On the 13th day of Messmas. Yesterday's video is a little bit like I was a little bit in my feelings. I'm not quite out of my feelings, but I'm definitely feeling better. Better than I did yesterday. Okay, so yesterday I was hanging out with a friend and I asked her what eyeshadow palette I should use today. And she was like, well, what Pat McGrath palettes do you have left? And I said like quite a few of them, and she picked Mothership 5. So we're gonna play with this today. I also have some other goodies for us to play with. I think today's gonna be a pretty intense look. I'm thinking what I wanna do is do the same eyeshadow shape that I did whenever I did the Tom Ford smoky eye that I did the one day. And kind of do like a halo eye. We'll see how we do, but I'm setting intention. Just so you guys know, I ran out of concealers, so concealers are back into play. Oh, if you are brand new here, basically every time I use something from my vanity, I put it in a box. The box lives on the floor over here. Once it is in the box, I cannot touch it again until I've completed that category. So what that means for us, for you and me, or just for me, is that let's say I'm using my bronzers, I get through all of my bronzers. They're all in that box. Well, I'm probably gonna use a bronzer more likely than not for some of my looks. So I pull all of my bronzers back out and they are back in play, and then they go into rotation again. So once I use the bronzer a second time, it goes back into the box and the rotation continues. So that's kind of the game that we're playing here. It is Saturday. So I'm normally an early bird, like I'm very much an early bird. I didn't wake up until 10:45. I've been up for it's like about 5 o'clock right now. I've only been up for 6 hours. I'm one of those people who functions on like daylight. And I know that's like a lot of people, but there are a lot of people who like stay up late. I'm not one of those people typically. So because I woke up and like much of daylight has passed, I feel like I've lost my day, although I can like prolong the time into the evening. But my body doesn't want me to do that. Anyway, that's the vibe that I'm riding today. I'm going to prep my eyes. I like to start with my eyes. I'm going to prep my eyes, especially with the Pat McGrath shades we're using today. There's just like a lot of glitter. There's like a lot of glitter in our future, and we're just going to set ourselves up for success. That's what we like to do here on this channel. Try to set ourselves. I actually just like doing my eye first because then you can clean it up with, like if you were doing something that you wanted some stricter lines, you can always clean them up. I know some people will use like tape to get straight lines. That's like a choice they're allowed to make. I don't know, I'm too lazy. I don't want to buy tape specifically for my face. That seems like such a weird thing to do, like specifically for eyeliner. I know that doesn't have to be like expensive tape, but the whole idea of that bothers me quite a bit. On my channel, I like to set my eye base, so I'm gonna use a little bit of Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. So we've already gone through all of my powders, and I've kind of like just stuck to my guns using the Laura Mercier for most of the project. And you know, I'm gonna get through those other powders. I will someday. That's like part of my plan. Cause like, I don't know. I don't see myself wanting to like run out and use what will be my budget next year for powder right away. Once I've exhausted all the powder I do have, or I'm close to exhausting all the powder I do have, then I'll be very interested in buying a new powder. But like, I am completely fine with the powders I have, so that's why I'm not really cycling through those so much. So if you had that question, there's the answer. I remember the name of this shade because it makes me laugh. It's Extreme Aubergine. My one friend just kind of yells the word aubergine. So what I'm gonna do is, use the mattes, create that shape that I wanna create, and then really deepen things out with Extreme Aubergine. What I think I wanna do I want to use like these three shades are like my favorite. The red is fine. It's like fine, but I don't know if I can incorporate all three of them. We'll see. I guess we're just going to start playing. We're going to start playing. And wherever this journey takes us is where this journey takes us. I just worked out and then subsequently showered. I didn't like cool down enough after my workout, so I'm having that experience where like I'm still kind of sweating from my workout, even though I've showered and I've tried to move on from that portion of my day, but she haunts me. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to take, not this, because I'm going to need that brush for later, but I'm going to take, I don't know, I have whatever this brush is, the e.l.f. Smudge Brush, and I'm kind of like gonna draw that wing out to here to give myself a guide, because that shape, I don't do that shape often, and it kind of fell into it on accident and then really liked it. Just gonna try to give myself like a subtle guide, and I'm gonna blow it out, so it doesn't really need to be perfect. I need, you know, somewhere to go. And then I'm gonna take a very dense brush with extreme aubergine, and then leave a space, leave some dead space. And I'm gonna try to get this aubergine color as intense as I can, just because that's what I want. I want it to be very deep. And I'm not tapping any excess off because that defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to do. I want pigment. I'm still sweating. I remember when I got this palette. I remember when I got this palette. This palette, a little bit important to me, only because there was a time where I was like unemployed for a very prolonged period of time. And this was like one of the first makeup items I bought like when I had a job again. I really wasn't into warm tones, but there was something about this that like really spoke to me. I'm taking the latest matte in the palette today and just trying to diffuse the edges here. Like it doesn't need to be like perfect, because I'm kind of trying to keep like a little bit of a rock and roll edge. And I remember using this for the first time and just being like, wow, this. So I had bought and returned Mothership 2 at one point. Mothership 2 has been already decluttered from my collection this year, but this was my first foray back into Pat McGrath, and it was truly a treat. I don't pull this out often because I don't know why. It's been a long time since I've pulled it out. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna take the NYX glitter primer. I think I might be a boring Bessie and use that shimmer in this dead space, and then top it with this shade. The red's gonna be more impactful, but I feel like I just did a red look. I think I'm gonna do the taupe. I'm gonna do the taupe and top it with that green. So I'm gonna just put the NYX glitter primer right here, all the way up my lid, my sweaty face. And then I'm gonna take this taupey shade in here and just tap that right on. And buff it out a little bit. Okay, and now I'm gonna take the green shimmer shade, our special shade, and tap that on top. Okay, that's pretty sick. All right, I'm very pleased with the state of this eye. I think it looks very gorgeous. I think it looks very stunning. I think we're achieving our goals today. We are making dreams happen. We are successful. We'll do black coffee today from Pat McGrath. We are lined. Okay, so let's start playing with complexion. Primers, we've already cycled through all of our primers. We're past the initial primer burst. But this is on the chopping block. I used this in a video. This is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Foundation. I have the shade 20NN. It's kind of on the chopping block right now. And the reason it is, I used this in a video where I was like doing Battle of the Blurs, which was like, it was Pat McGrath versus my Chantecaille powder. And I did not like the way it looked on my skin in that particular video. I am priming with the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Rich Face Base, and the reason I'm using this primer, or I chose this primer out of the ones that I could today, is it's going to give it its best, it's going to give this foundation its best chance to be successful, because this primer is hydrating, it's plumpifying. It's weird because I liked this during my review. I liked the Urban Decay foundation during my review of it. It's like not my favorite foundation, but it's like, it's a very nice foundation. It's just like not my favorite foundation. Anyway, but I thought it was gonna be fine enough for me to like finish it because as you can see here, I'm like pretty far into it. Like I don't have a whole bottle of it left. If I had a whole bottle, I would probably pass it on. But it's like, I kind of used a lot of it already. So today I will be trying it again. I'm going to be using a brush with it. I will link my whole review for this particular foundation as I've already done it, instead of just like kind of belaboring that here. That'll be in the description box down below. But today we're gonna use a brush, Sephora Collection Pro Diffuser brush. Now, if I remember correctly, I liked applying this with a brush in my video, but today the brush is leaving a lot of streak marks in it, and I think that's because like, I'm just sweaty. It's looking much better on my face today. So I'm gonna go ahead and say what was going on with the Battle of Blur was really a reaction from the retinol I had just upped myself up to. Like my skin was like sloughing and not looking great. It's still not sitting really well on my nose, which is something that I don't remember happening whenever I did this on my review, but like it's on my nose, it's like, she's not doing her best. For concealer today, I'm gonna try the Armani again because I really liked it the other day, but I obviously, like, it's not something I played with a lot. And I'll do some on my nose considering the foundation doesn't really want to play on my nose. I'm gonna use a brush. I might have used a brush last time I used this concealer, but I don't really remember. I don't remember, and it wasn't that long ago that this happened. I really think this concealer is truly a win. I'm liking it a lot. I'm liking it a lot. I'm really kind of happy that I'm doing this project because I think this concealer looks really good. It's like good coverage, not like the most I've ever had. I really like the finish of it. It definitely like leaves a little bit of dew. I mean, I'm gonna set mine down with my trustworthy Chantecaille blurring powder real quick. And then I'm gonna set the rest of my face with the Mercier translucent setting powder. Considering all of the sweat, seems like an extra necessary step today. And then I'm gonna take my Chantecaille powder, and if you've been around long enough, you know where I'm gonna put it because I'm doing the most apparently. That's apparently the vibe that I'm going with. We're gonna do cheeks and forehead. The way that I'm literally still sweating, I finished working out over an hour ago. feels homo. I'm gonna contour with my mini of the Rituel contouring palette. This is all old hat. Listen, we don't need to spend too much time on things we don't need to spend too much time on. And you know what we don't need to spend too much time on? Me talking about this contour. And now for bronzer. This is another repeat product. There's so many repeats. We'd love to see it. We'd love to see it. It is the Burberry Warm Glow No. 1. For blush today, we're going to be using Pat McGrath's Electric Bloom. I already have used another shade. I used Desert Orchid. I used Desert Orchid. I don't know why it came out of my mouth like that in another video recently. So because this one has a lot more, this one's going to show up a lot more on my skin because it's like definitely a bright blush. I am only taking ever so slight bit on this very, very loosely packed brush, and I'm just tapping it in. Just tapping it in so I don't get too much. Yeah, I would say this blush, the Pat McGrath blushes, if you are as pale as me, but you like to experiment with like the bigger, bolder blushes, build up so you don't go to 100. Because one time I forgot how pigmented these blushes were, and I just swirled my blush brush in there, one that has more dense bristles, and I was like, nope, that was not the look I was going for. It's a beautiful shade. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Brought life back to it. This is a lighter application of it because I wanted the eyes or the drama, not my cheeks. So I'm just kind of leaving them to do their job, you know, leaving the eyes to do their job. For highlight today, I'm going to use the Dream, which is from Rituel Fille. This was a limited edition highlight from them in the Metamorphic formula, which is the one that has the bigger glitters in it. It is gorgeous. I think that's everything for complexion. So I'm gonna spray my face with Fix Plus real quick. I'm gonna add my Fetishized mascara. And I think I'm gonna do it, well, I think I am. I'm gonna do a glitter lip today. I'm gonna be using, actually, the Blood One lipstick glitter kit from Pat McGrath. And when I do glitter lips, I like to do the top lip first, press the glitter in, and then I do the bottom lip. That's kind of how the MO I go. I haven't used this glitter yet. It's so pretty. It's really multi-dimensional. Okay, I finished the red lips off camera. I'm gonna zoom you in so you can see the skin. It's looking very Wicked. It's looking very Ruby Slipper. It's looking very, the eye is really pretty. I really like that. It's very pretty. The lips, the skin. The foundation looks much better than it did in that other video. It's still not my favorite foundation for sure, but I think it is serviceable enough for me to finish. But look at the performance of this concealer. I think it looks so good. Unbelievable. I'm really happy that I am enjoying the Armani concealer because I really didn't like that foundation. Okay, now is the time in the video where we reflect on everything we used today. Mothership number 5 from Pat McGrath. Now, while this wouldn't be a color story that I think I would buy into now, it's so gorgeous. These three flaky shades are just bar none some of the prettiest. Like that green topper is so beautiful. This was actually really nice on its own, this like taupey shade that I put on. And I like the mattes in here. I just think that this is a very interesting warm eyeshadow palette, because you have the contrast of these like green toppers with the red and warm and readiness, and they play really well off each other and give you something very interesting. Like I think this eye is really beautiful. I think it really is. The purple, the green, the taupe, all looks very good. The Bobbi Brown Vitamin Rich Face Base, my favorite primer. It just is my favorite primer. The Urban Decay Stay Naked Foundation. Much better performance today than from that other video where I did the Battle of the Blurs. Still not my favorite foundation. However, what I think I'm gonna do is, if I hold on to it, we'll see. I don't want to end this project with as many foundations as I feel like I currently have, but if I don't feel like I have too many, this will be what I will focus my energies on panning this completely first, and then move on to panning some other things, and then just to get it out of my collection, but to use it, because it's a pretty good foundation. There is like a person this is for, I just don't know that it's me. The Giorgio Armani Concealer. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that I have a good relationship with this. I can't wait till this is over so I can use this. I can use this a lot more. I really like it. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled about it. I'm over the moon. This is a great concealer. It's really working out well for me so far. So I really love that. We love a win when it comes to concealer. The bronzer from Burberry, it did its job today, but we all know that she's leaving my collection January 1st. We've had a long time together. The Electric Bloom Pat McGrath Blush. We went really light-handed today, but worked really well, worked really beautifully. Again, I think the Hourglass is my favorite formula, but the Pat McGrath ones are really pretty, and I think that of all of the blushes I have, my Hourglass collection does not overlap with the Pat McGrath blushes I have, so I can have them both. I can have my cake and eat it too. The Dream Metamorphic Highlighter. I know this is something that you can't get, but I think this is a very special, very cool highlighter, because it looks like pink, but it's like red, and it's like got a lot of intrigue, and I thought it played really well with Electric Bloom on my cheeks. It's very pretty. I love the glitter. We love an intense highlight. I love an intense highlight. There's a lot of shimmer going on my face today. Normally I try not to do all of that. And then the glitter lip kit. It's a lot of fun. It's a very cool, effect that you get. I actually really like, I feel like the formulas in these lipsticks are they're not the matte trance. And I like this formula, and I kind of wish that she would release this formula, like in a regular bullet. And I think that this glitter is so stunning. I am actually not gonna throw the glitter. These glitter containers are not trustworthy. I don't want it to pop open in the box, so I'm gonna set it aside, but I'm not gonna be using it. But I think we all know that I'm not gonna be using up my glitters anytime soon. It's been quite the process trying to get a glitter into enough looks that I think I'm going to end up using them all. I don't know if I'm gonna end up using all my glitters by the end of this. That wraps up today's video of messmas. We look gorgeous. We look gorgeous. If you liked today's video, I would love to have you subscribe and also hit that like button, because that helps me. And I also am on a Patreon if you want to see Patreon. And in my link tree down below, you can find my Instagram if you want to look at me more than you want to hear me. And there's other projects that I have in my link tree as well if you're interested in those. And just remember to follow your haute and you will find me. I will see you in my next video, tomorrow's video. Bye, friends.